Today, we are going to do our topic for review. Please follow along and take notes either in your math book or in your math notebook. Make sure that you underline all the questions and circle what we know. Number 1. Don works 15 hours a week. Which expression shows a good way to use rounding to estimate how many hours Don will work in 52 weeks? So, we want to know which expression shows a good way to use rounding to estimate how many hours Don will work in 52 weeks if he works 18 hours a week. So basically, we need to round 18 times 52. 18, underline your tens place, look to your right. The 1 will round up to a 2, so 18 rounds to 20 times, look at your 5. Underline your 5, look to the right. Since 2 is less than 5, 52 is going to round to 50. So our answer is going to be C, 20 times 50. And this one only has one answer. Go ahead and cross off number 2. You do not need to do that one. Number 3. There are 21 rows of seats. Each row has 42 seats. We want to use rounding to estimate the total number of seats. So we have 21 times 42. If we're going to round these numbers, underline your tens place, look to your right. If the digit to your right is 5 or greater, then the underlined number goes up 1. If the digit to the right is less than 5, then the underlined digit stays the same. So 21 would round to 20, and 42 would round to 40. (20 times 40). Underline your basic fact. So we have 2 times 4, which is 8. Then make sure you add the correct number of zeros. Yesterday in our quiz, a few of you were not adding the correct number of zeros. Always multiply the basic fact first, then add how many zeros you have left in your factors to your product. We also want to put a label on this one. It is asking about to round to estimate the total number of seats. So our label here would be seats. Number 4. A movie theater sells 50 tickets for each showing of a movie. The theater showed the movie 40 times. We want to find out how many tickets did the theater sell. So we need to multiply 50 times 40. Underline your basic fact. So we have 5 times 4, which equals 20. And then there are 2 more zeros, so add those. 50 times 40 is 2,000 tickets. We do not need to add a label to this one because it is a multiple choice problem. And in our answer over here, it already has the label for us. Number 5. Margot hiked 12 miles 13 times last month. She hiked 14 miles 12 times this month. Part A. We want to draw arrays or area models to find the number of miles Margot hiked during the past 2 months. In this problem, don't worry about drawing arrays or area models. Just find out how many miles Margot hiked during the past 2 months. Well, this is going to be a 2-step problem. Actually, a 3-step problem. First, we need to find out how many miles she hiked last month. I'm going to put an L for last month. Then we need to find out how many miles she hiked this month. When we are done, we need to add those together to find out the total number of miles that Margot hiked. There is a problem just like this on your test, so please make sure you are understanding what we are doing. To find out how much she hiked last month, we're going to multiply 12 times 13. So we have 12 times 13. You can multiply this however you want, meaning you can either use the box or you can use a standard algorithm. I'm going to practice with a standard algorithm. If you feel more comfortable using a box, you can go ahead and do that. First, we're going to multiply our ones times our ones. So 3 times 2 is 6. Then we're going to multiply our ones times our tens. So 3 times 1 is 3. We have not had to regroup anything, so we don't need to erase what we regrouped, but we do need to add a 0 to hold our ones place. Then we're going to multiply our tens times our ones. So 1 times 2 is 2, and then 1 times 1 is 1. If I add my digits, I get 156. So under the L for last month, I'm going to write 156, and that's laps. Now for this month, she hiked 14 miles 12 times. So this time, I'm going to multiply 14 times 12. This time, we're also going to use a standard algorithm using regrouping if necessary. First, multiply your ones place. 4 times 2 is 8. Then multiply your ones times your tens. 2 times 1 is 2. Before we can multiply our tens, we need to place our 0. We did not regroup, so we don't have to erase anything. Then we're going to multiply 1 times 4, which is 4, and 1 times 1, which is 1. We're going to add these together, and we're going to get 168 laps. Since she hiked 156 laps last month and 168 laps this month, we want to find out how much she hiked during the past 2 months. So our last step is going to be to add these two numbers together. So I am going to add 168 plus 156. 8 plus 6 is 14. Put down your 4, regroup your 1. 6 plus 5 is 11, plus 1 more is 12. Put down your 2, regroup your 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So our answer is she hiked a total of 324 laps. You can also go ahead and cross off part B. You don't have to worry about that. Number 6. Elaine is making 20 pine cone wreaths to sell at a fair. She needs 13 pine cones for each wreath. How many pine cones does Elaine need in all? We want to find out how many pine cones does Elaine need in all. We know that she's making 20 of them and she needs 13 for each wreath. This tells me that we need to multiply. So we're going to multiply 20 times 13. Since we are using a multiple of 10, we're going to write our multiple of 10 on the bottom. Drop your 0. 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 1 is 2. So she will need 260 pine cones. I'm just going to put PC, but if it was the real test, I would write out pine cones. For those of you who like to use the box method when you're using a multiple of 10, just draw your box, divide it into 2 parts instead of 4. On the top, divide it into the number that is not a multiple of 10. So we have 10 and 3. On the side, you're going to write 20. And then in the boxes, you're going to multiply 20 times 10 is 200. And then you're going to multiply 20 times 3, which is 60. If you add that together, you would get 260, or the same answer. You can do the problems that are multiples of 10 either way. Do which way works best for you. Number 7. Mr. Hans bought tiles for his tile business. Each box of tiles costs $30. We want to draw lines to match the number of boxes with the total cost. So it's basically telling you, and I'm going to move our work down here. Here are our boxes over here, and here are our money. Here is our money. So if we're going to multiply each of these numbers to figure out the product, if we have 40 boxes and each box costs $30, we're going to multiply 40 times 30. Underline your basic fact, which would be 12, and then add the 2 zeros. So your answer would be 1,200, or 1,200. Going to the next one, I'm going to move on to the 80 just because it is a multiple of 10 and 30 is a multiple of 10. So I'm going to do those first. So we have 80 times, each box costs $30. 8 times 3 is 24. And then I'm going to add my 2 zeros. So I'm going to get 2,400. Now, let's go to 24. We have 24 boxes. Each box costs $30. It is a multiple of 10. So I'm going to write our multiple of 10 on the bottom. So 24 times 30. Drop your 0 and then multiply your 10s times your 1s. The 3 times 4 is 12. Put your 2, regroup your 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. So your answer for 24 boxes is going to be $720. That leaves us with 1 left. 19 times 30 is 570. You can go ahead and cross off numbers 8 and 9. You do not need to do them. Sorry if you hear my daughter upstairs. I have no idea what she's doing. You can go ahead and skip number 10. Number 11. Joe gets paid $25 to mow the lawn. He plans on mowing the lawn 19 times before the end of the summer. We need to, and this is important because this is on your test, write and solve an equation to find the amount of money Joe will make. So not only do you need to solve the problem, but you also have to write an equation using an equal sign. Since Joe gets paid $25 to mow the lawn, and he's going to do it 19 times, our equation is going to be 25 times 19 equals, and then when we get our answer, we'll put it here in this circle. So we have 25 times 19. First, I'm going to start with my ones place. So I'm going to multiply my ones times my ones. 9 times 5 is 45. Put down your 5, regroup your 4. Next, I'm going to multiply 9 times 2, which is 18, plus 4 is 22. I'm going to use my 2 steps. I'm going to erase, what I regrouped. And then I'm going to place a 0 to hold my ones place. Now I can multiply my 10s. 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 2 is 2. If I add this up, I get $475. So 25 times 19 is $475. Number 12. When the discount tire store sells a new tire, the profit is $15. Which expression would you use to find the profit the store receives if they sell 60 new tires in one day? So we're going to look down here at our answers, and we're going to find out we don't even need to solve it because an expression is just 2 factors being multiplied without an answer. So we want to find out which expression would you use to find the profit stores receive if they sell 60 new tires in one day? We need to multiply 60 times 15. So our answer would be D. You guys are doing a great job. Keep up the good work. Go ahead and cross off 13 and 14. Let's look at number 15. In number 15, it says, Lauren drew an area model to find 19 times 15. We need to write the partial products for each rectangle in the area model. Well, you guys are pros at this. This is just like doing the box method. So basically, I'm going to draw it over here. We have 15, which is 10 and 5. I'm going to put a little plus sign in the middle. And then we have 19, which is 10 plus 9. So in box A, we're going to multiply 10 times 10. And 10 times 10 is 100. In box B, we're going to multiply 10 times 5. And 10 times 5 is 50. We have box C, and in box C, we're going to multiply 10. Whoops, sorry, my pen stopped working. 10 times 9. And 10 times 9 is 90. And last, we're going to do box D. And in box D, we're going to multiply 9 times 5, which is 45. And for this question, you don't even have to add them up. You just have to write down the 4 partial products. Number 16. The librarian ordered 29 sets of bookmarks. Each set contained 20 bookmarks. How many bookmarks did the librarian order? So we want to find out how many bookmarks did the librarian order. We have 29 sets, and each set contained 20, so we're going to multiply that by 20. I put my multiple of 10 on the bottom to make it easier. Go ahead and drop your 0, and then you're going to multiply 2 times 9, which is 18. Write your 8, regroup your 1. Then 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. So our answer is going to be 580 bookmarks. Remember, when you are multiplying by a multiple of 10, it's much easier if you put that multiple of 10 on the bottom and just drop the 0. Go ahead and put X's through number 17, part A and part B. You do not have to do those problems. We are almost done. We have 3 more problems. You can cross off number 20. You do not have to do that one. Let's look at number 18. It says, Luann is practicing for her school's math Olympiad. Which expression shows why Luann can use partial products to find 60 times 78? So, if we have 60 times 78, we can break apart 78 into 70 plus 8. So now we can multiply 60 times 70 plus 60 times 8. So our answer would be A. Number 19. Jack's Landscape Service charges $78 to plant a tree. What is the total cost to plant 18 trees on Tuesday and 23 trees on Wednesday? Write and solve equations. So we want to find out what is the total cost to plant 18 trees on Tuesday and 23 trees on Wednesday. This is a multiple step problem. First, we have to add to find out how many trees that we're planting. And we also need to write equations. So if I know we have 18 on Tuesday and 23 on Wednesday, I'm going to write 18 plus 23 equals as one of the equations. You can do it on the side to show your computation. Add your ones place. 8 plus 3 is 11. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 more is 4. So they're going to plant a total of 41 trees. Now, if they charge $78 per tree, now we need to multiply 78 times 41 trees, or $78 times 41 trees. So I'm going to multiply 78 times 41. First, multiply your ones place. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 7 is 7. Then add your 0. Erase anything you regrouped, which we did not. So now we're going to multiply. 4 times 8 is 32. Put your 2, regroup your 3. Then 7 times 4 is 28, plus 3 more is 31. So we can add them up, and we will get a total of $3,198. I wrote the two equations for you over here, and then we did our work on the side. All right, last one, because you're going to cross off number 22. Number 21. Tony's goal is to learn 15 new Spanish words each day. Sorry, Tori, not Tony. If Tori meets her goal, how many new Spanish words will she have learned after 40 days? We need to multiply 15 times 40. So if I have 15 times 40, 40 is our multiple of 10. I'm just going to do it on the right over here. So I'm going to write 15 times 40. Our multiple of 10 is on the bottom. Drop your 0. Then you're going to multiply your 10s times your 1s. So 4 times 5 is 20. Put your 0, regroup your 2, and then multiply your 10s times your 10s. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 more is 6. So 15 times 40 equals 600 words. Great job for completing the assessment for review.